Going right. Here in Georgia and all across the country right now is getting ready for Election Day, which is now just hours away. And certainly Georgia is going to be playing a critical role in what happens and what we're talking about this time tomorrow night when we anticipate some of those results starting to come in at this hour tomorrow night. Of course, millions of Georgia voters tasked with making that critical decision. And candidates really at this point trying to make their closing arguments to voters at this hour. I want to show you a couple live pictures that are happening right now. We have President Trump, who both candidates are in Pennsylvania right now, specifically in Pittsburgh. And here we have former President Donald Trump speaking right now. And he is talking. Let's go ahead and pull that up so we can listen a little bit on that.
And you'd be able to see the screens, but you can't see them. So I don't really bother with it anymore. It's a terrible thing, We have to get them to straighten out because I think without a free and fair press, it's very hard to do what we want to do. It's a very hard thing.
So you have former President Trump speaking right now, and also in Pittsburgh at this hour. I'm going to flip over to another live picture, and this is where Vice President Kamala Harris is also hosting a rally right now. And they are in between speakers right now. In fact, we have one speaker there talking right now, but this is another rally that's going on not too far from where the former president is. You know, both campaigns are trying to prioritize voters, you know, here in the Peach State as well. In Midtown Atlanta, you know, as we're going to show you some more video here, the Harris campaign is trying to mobilize young and non-traditional voters tonight. And we had Ohio Senator and Republican Vice President nominee J.D. Vance also there today. So much focus on what's happening, you know, and as we talk about what is going to happen here tomorrow on election night, one key area maybe to watch, we've heard a lot about what's happening in Cobb County with what happened 4 years ago, and can that be a shift to go red? That will be an area to watch, but also Gwinnett County, and our Adam Murphy was there a little earlier today to find out why.
I'm Adam Murphy in Lawrenceville outside the Gwinnett County Elections Office. This is a county to watch, considered a bellwether county due to the incredible diversity in Gwinnett County. What happens here could determine what happens on election night. Now, the process of sorting mail-in ballots is already underway here. The 2024 election is smashing records in Gwinnett County. More than half of all registered voters have already cast a ballot during the advanced voting period. That's approximately 300,000 votes waiting to be tabulated on Election Day. Now, the elections director and supervisor believes large voter turnout during advance voting will help county officials provide results to the public much faster this election cycle.
That reporting from Adam Murphy tonight in Gwinnett County. So that certainly will be a county to watch as some of those returns starting to come in tomorrow night. But he touched upon this, and so many people wondering when we'll start to have some of those results start to come in. And Georgia's elections chief feels pretty confident. He told us earlier today that we will know who the candidate who wins Georgia by midnight tomorrow. The Secretary of State's message today is to have faith in the results no matter the outcome. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger held a press conference earlier today at the state capitol. He answered questions about how former President Trump and other Republicans have tried to sow seeds of doubt in the election process. And here's some of what he had to say.
Governor Kemp, myself, our General Assembly, and tens of thousands of election workers have worked every day to defend every legal vote.
We'll make sure people understand we've got the backs of the poll workers who are doing good work.
So that's the Secretary of State talking about some of those results and what we expect to kind of unfold here tomorrow afternoon into the evening. In fact, he said by 5 o'clock tomorrow, we should have some results from maybe 60% of the vote. That's sizable. And then by 8 o'clock, at least 70% of the vote. So we're looking at 24 hours from now, we could have a significant amount of some of those results coming in and be able to pass them on to you. And we will be streaming some of these updates throughout the evening for you tomorrow, and we'll be on air as well as these results start to come in. And we'll be watching the local, state, and national races. We'll have those for you live on Election Night here on Atlanta News First and ANF Plus. And we'll be having some special coverage starting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, streaming live here on ANF Plus. And you know all the ways to be able to get that. But it should be a pretty interesting night as far as, you know, so much focus has been on Georgia, but other states to watch, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. That's why you're seeing both those candidates in Pennsylvania tonight. And a lot of analysts believe whoever takes Pennsylvania will be the winner of the White House. We tend to talk a lot about, the weather impacting Election Day and how that can or cannot. And I'm going to bring in meteorologist Patrick Pete here in a second. It looks like we're in a pretty decent weather for tomorrow, so no excuses on people who are some of those last-minute voters. We had so many people who did the early voting this year and got it out of the way. Some 3 million people did early voting, and it looks like it's, Patrick, it looks like it's a pretty decent day tomorrow, right?
It is. Not a bad day at all. Looking forward to it.
And then we got some rain coming up this way as well, so I'm going to let you kind of scoot in here and take on over.
Yes, sir.
We can't blame the weather tomorrow, can we?
We cannot.
I mean, we can, but there's no reason.
Don't blame the weather. Don't blame the weatherman. Do not blame the weatherman. Do not blame the weather. Good evening, everyone. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Monday. It's a new week. It's a new day, and here we are looking at this forecast. FYI, there's some changes finally. We are getting a shift in things. I just need to switch up a couple of sources real quick. If you guys can bear with me about 10 seconds, we'll be up and running. There we go. We do have a new first alert weather day in the forecast. We have not had a first alert weather day in some time because we've been quite dry, but we are watching Wednesday. That is our best chance at getting at least widespread rain opportunities. Although all rain opportunities not equal, we'll dive into that in just a minute. Let me pull up YouTube because I want to make sure that I can address anyone that has questions there. Good evening to the YouTube audience, and of course, good evening to everyone that is joining us at home. FYI, we're going to be doing another stream at 8:30, taking a look at the tropical system that just developed, Raphael, and you guys can catch that if you stick with us at 8:30. But let's talk about this local forecast right now, where rain chances start to increase on Wednesday. Notice there's a 20 on Tuesday. It's a spotty rain chance, but want everyone to be prepared for a stray sprinkle, much like what we saw today, low-end chance for some isolated showers. Rain sticking around through early Thursday, and then we trend drier by the end of the work week. Still dealing with some spotty showers out there right now. You can see that there's a little bit of drizzle. That's light green. That's not a whole lot of rain. It's nuisance. No impact, really, just a little misty out there. South and east of Atlanta, but trying to make its way close to the eastern wall of the perimeter. We'll keep that rain chance around through the evening. The bigger story right now is that line of rain and thunderstorms that's moving through the Mid-South. You can see that there are active tornado watches on that line, some active severe thunderstorm warnings, and there were some active tornado warnings earlier, one of which I actually believe was confirmed in, I think, maybe Oklahoma. Still working to get some information on that, but nonetheless, a very, very aggressive line of rain and storms pushing through the Mid-South. That's going to shift eastward over the course of the next day or so, and that's going to tap into some moisture out ahead of Raphael, some tropical moisture that'll be lifting northward, and that's going to increase our rain. That's going to lead to some folks picking up on some heavy downpours. One particular area has the best chance of seeing some heavy rain, and we'll dive into that in about a minute and a half. Let's get you through Tuesday first, which is Election Day, and I expect there to be cloudy skies as you walk out of the door tomorrow morning, but then we'll get some breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. That should allow for those temperatures to warm. Maybe a spotty shower here or there, but overall it's going to be a dry day, and I don't think this is going to be much of an impact as far as getting to the polls. Low 60s in the morning and still cloudy. We'll get breaks by the afternoon, and that'll allow temperatures to climb into the upper 70s. We have that forecast high at 78 degrees here in Atlanta. It's going to be pretty much mid to upper 70s across most of our area. Trending drier as we head into the evening, mostly clear skies by around 9 o'clock. But then we'll see clouds build back in early on Wednesday. We'll be watching that boundary push closer to the east, and some of that tropical moisture will lift northward. And the big question is, how far north does that tropical moisture make it? Right now, a lot of the guidance is hinting that areas south and east of I-85 will have the best chance of getting some rain, and those heavier downpours will be south and east of that. So the further south and east you are, the better chance you could get heavy downpours. I'm looking at Jasper, Putnam counties. I'm looking at folks that are in Madison County, Walton County, all the way down towards Rockdale, Newton County. Those are areas that we're going to be watching very closely based off of the data that we're seeing right now. Here is our latest in-house model, hour-by-hour breakdown of Wednesday. And you can see it's fairly dry, maybe a spotty sprinkle here or there. The bigger story Wednesday morning is going to be the cloudy skies. But as we head into the afternoon, we'll get that first wave of rain. It's going to be pretty spotty, hit or miss, but that is going to be our best chance for seeing that early round of rain. By around 5, you can see that how areas south and east of Atlanta, you're picking up on those yellows, those oranges, those reds. That's going to be the heavier downpours, and eventually it starts to lift northward as we get closer to 11 o'clock, and it's The big question is how far north does it lift? A lot of the guidance is trying to bring that right through the metro, which means that all of our communities could get some decent rain. We do expect measurable rain, and we expect to get more rain this month than we got last month, all out of this system. That rain's going to stick around through the morning and eventually trend drier through the afternoon. So the axis of heaviest rain is to the south and east of Atlanta. And you can see that indicated by those purples and deep reds. That's where we're seeing those higher rain totals, roughly 3 inches and above. That's mainly south and east of our area. But there's going to be a sharp gradient, and where exactly that gradient sets up is going to be something that we're going to be studying over the next 12 to 24 hours. And that's why Wednesday's the first alert weather day, because some areas are just going to get light rain. It'll be measurable, but other areas it's going to be heavier. And that area south and east of Atlanta is the area that we're watching for the heaviest downpours. Beyond that, we expect things to trend drier by Thursday afternoon, and then Friday's pretty cloudy with just a hit or miss sprinkle. Saturday is pretty much the same story, except a slightly higher chance for some showers, and we'll keep that energy going into Sunday. Nothing overwhelming at this point. Wednesday will be the biggest impact day, and that's why Wednesday is the first alert weather day. Temperatures in the 70s for the bulk of this forecast, slightly cooler as we push into the weekend, and then eventually as we arrive at Veterans Day, we'll see those numbers start to rebound into the mid-70s, and we'll see a little bit more sunshine, and we'll lose those rain chances. As far as the tropics are going, we are keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Rafael. Rafael developed earlier this afternoon at 4 o'clock as a tropical storm. This is an area that we've been watching for the better part of a week. We knew that guidance was hinting that we could get some development in the Caribbean as an area of low pressure would develop, and it has, and it's organized today and went from tropical depression to tropical storm at 4. Winds sustained at 45 miles per hour. It has now started to move towards the north-northwest with a more northwesterly jog expected as we head over the course of the next 24 hours. And this is forecast to become a hurricane. So I know that as we are moving into November, theoretically, tropical systems, tropical activity decreases as we are, rounding the end of hurricane season, but we're still not there yet. And this is the area that we typically watch for development. We expect this to become a Cat 2 hurricane with winds around 105 miles per hour, and then eventually curve off towards the north and northwest. As far as landfall, right now that could be anywhere on at least the northern Gulf Coast, anywhere from Alabama westward. We're going to keep an eye on this. A lot of the data is kind of mixed a little bit. As for now, it does look like we're not going to get any direct impacts from this, which is great news. But it's something that we're going to be studying, obviously. So stick with us here on First Atlanta News First. And if you don't already have the First Alert Weather app on your phone, go ahead and download it. You can get your updates as we get that information. Alrighty, so I am going to leave you all with the 7-day forecast so that you can, make your plans for the next week. It's going to be really rainy. Especially Wednesday, second half of the day through the overnight. Looks like we'll have some rain lingering into Thursday morning, and then eventually we trend slightly drier as we head back to work next week. Y'all have a fantastic Monday.